Hey guys, what's good? Derek here from Bomb Socks with more Bomb Bites, where we feast upon the words of Christ one bite at a time. Yesterday, I gave you a little bit of an overview of how the kingdoms of Israel and Judah got divided between King Jeroboam and Rehoboam. So from here on out, we are often dealing with two different kingdoms going on, sometimes at the same time, with the various kings and the various prophets. Well, today I want to focus a little bit on that northern kingdom with one of the really, really bad kings. In fact, you look at the chapter heading of chapter 16, it talks about Elah, Zimri, Omri, and Ahab reign in wickedness. Oh, King Ahab. Let me tell you about this guy for a minute. So you go down to verse 30 of chapter 16. It says, Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil in the sight of the Lord above all that were before him. This is a bad dude. Verse 31, it came to pass that as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, which we talked about yesterday, which was idolatry, that he took to wife Jezebel. Oh, feel free to boo as you're reading about Jezebel. There's a reason why we don't name our girls Jezebel. And if your name is Jezebel and you're watching this, I absolutely apologize, but it's not a good thing. It says they went and served Baal and worshipped him. Verse 32, reared up an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria. So they're building a house to this guy too. Verse 33, Ahab made a grove. The groves were very wicked. They were very sexual in nature. This type of idolatry. Ahab, this is an interesting statement. Ahab did more to provoke the Lord God of Israel to anger than all the kings of Israel that were before him. So, I want you to look up Jezebel for a moment in the Bible dictionary. Okay, so here it says she's a Phoenician princess, daughter of Ethbaal, half of his name is Baal, king of the Zidonians, and wife of Ahab, king of Israel, which we already read about how bad this guy is. This marriage, more than any other single event, caused the downfall of the northern kingdom. That's a bold statement. As Jezebel introduced into Israel the worst forms of Phoenician worship in the place of the worship of Jehovah. And also it says the name is applied figuratively to a woman or a sect causing great harm for the church. Again, like I said, we don't name our women Jezebel anymore for good reason. So this woman's bad. This whole combo of Ahab and Jezebel, they're causing so much havoc in the northern kingdom. So what do? Drum roll as you bring along this guy. His name is Elijah. Okay, so Elijah is a hero. He saves the day. And he saves the day actually by doing something pretty crazy. You go to chapter 17, it talks about how Elijah seals the heavens. You look at the first 7 verses or so. For example, verse number 1, Elijah the Tishbite. We don't know a lot about his background. In fact, we'll show you that in just a second here. As the Lord God of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. So there is a famine going on during this time period, which will set up where we're going to go next time. So you go to look up Elijah, okay? We looked up Jezebel in the Bible dictionary. Now go look up Elijah in the Bible dictionary. Now it says here, Elijah's name means Jehovah is my God. It actually says that could be. They're not quite sure what it is because there's not a lot of background on him. Nothing is known of his parentage. The northern kingdom was the scene of his work at the time when, owing to the influence of Ahab and Jezebel, the people had almost entirely forsaken the worship of Jehovah and become worshipers of the Phoenician god Baal or Baal, depending upon where you're from. So here's a cool thing in here. The deep impression Elijah made on the life of the Israelites. Again, he's not in here for very long, just the chapters of this week, and come follow me. This deep impression he made is indicated in the fixed belief that prevails that he will return, as in spoken of Malachi chapter 4, verse 5. The foregoing references from the New Testament show that many mistook Jesus for Elijah returned. Among the Jews, he is still an invited guest at the Passover, for whom a vacant seat is reserved and the door is open. Now, I love this. It says, his recorded words are few but forceful. His deeds are explicit evidences of his strength of will, force of character, and personal courage. And we'll talk about a couple of those this week. Last paragraph, we learn from latter-day revelation that Elijah held the sealing power of the Melchizedek priesthood. That's what we just read about, how he sealed the heavens for this famine. He appeared on the Mount of Transfiguration in company with Moses, also translated, and conferred the keys of the priesthood on Peter, James, and John. He appeared again in company with Moses and others on April 3rd of 1836 in the Kirtland Temple and conferred the same keys upon Joseph Smith and Oliver Cowdery. All of this was in preparation for the coming of the Lord as spoken in that reference in Malachi chapter 4. As demonstrated by his miraculous deeds, and I love this, the power of Elijah is the sealing power of the priesthood by which things bound or loosed on earth are bound or loosed in heaven. Thus, the keys of this power are once again operative on the earth and are used in performing all the ordinances of the gospel for the living and the dead. Elijah's a hero, folks. And so in this chapter 17 where we see him seal the heavens, because nothing's going to get the attention of people quite like a famine. Because once you can't eat or drink, all of a sudden that kind of compels some people to be humble, which again will lead us to where we're going tomorrow. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and thanks for sharing these messages. We're so grateful that you do that. If you haven't already, check out our amazingly comfortable gospel-themed socks at bombsocks.com. Godspeed. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.